Today's video will take a mild, in-depth look at our level 25 Drain Life PvP build, and how it might look as we raise the level caps to 40, 50, or even 60. As always, this is based on the information we have on hand, and always subject to change at a moment's notice, like the Metamorphosis rune nerf pushed right before Thanksgiving, that lowers our bonus threat in meta form from 100% to 50%. By default, we skip Nightfall since we plan to spend 99% of the time in Metamorphosis form for the build, and Shadow Cleave doesn't benefit from Nightfall. However, feel free to adapt them a bit if you want to change forms and use the procs to instant cast your normal Shadow Bolts. Finally, all of these builds should use Master Channeler for chest rune, Metamorphosis for hand rune, and Demonic Grace for leg runes. Though possibly worth switching your leg rune to Incinerate or Everlasting Affliction if you find your survivability is sufficient enough and you need some extra damage. We won't spend too much time going over this, as this is the base build we featured in the original video and the one we'll be using once we hit level 25 for PvP. But you take things like 5 out of 5 improved corruption, 2 out of 5 suppression to max our affliction spell hit chance in PvP, 3 out of 5 improved drain life, or 1 out of 5 improved drain life with 2 out of 2 improved life tap. And lastly, 3 out of 3 improved Curse of Agony / Amplify Curse for some extra boost to Curse of Agony damage. You'll also have roughly about 2 points after that to play with as you choose and adapt to your liking with your choices. You could choose to put them in Improved Drain Life, or hop over to the Demology tree and take things like Improved Hellstone or Demonic Embrace. But the build's main idea is to outlast your opponent with shadow dots like Corruption, Curse of Agony, and Drain Life, with the occasional Immolate, Fear, and Searing Pain to help chip away at your opponent's life, while running around like a chicken with its head cut off, ranging as many opponents as possible after applying your dots so you can buy time for your dots to drain your opponent to death. At 40, it may end up being more worth it to stay the course in Affliction and pick up things like Shadow Mastery, Siphon Life, and Curse of Exhaustion. But we also have a more Demonology survival focused build, straddling Demonology and Affliction. Picking up a bunch of survivability talents for ourselves and our pet, like Improved Hellstone 2 out of 2, Demonic Embrace 5 out of 5, Improved Voidwalker 3 out of 3, and Fell Stamina 4 out of 5, combined with our pet casting reduction talents like Fell Domination and Master Summoner. You have the ability to sacrifice your Voidwalker and almost instantly summon another to re-sack it again, or instantly summon a replacement pet like the Fell Hunter. Pair that with the 5 out of 5 Improved Corruption, 2 out of 5 Suppression to maximize the Affliction spell PvP hit, Improved Drain Life 5 out of 5 to take advantage of the plethora of spell power gear at level 40. You'll have 2 points to play with, which we'd recommend Amplify Curse, and 1 out of 3 Curse of Agony, or Improved Life Tap. Improved Life Tap, however, isn't as recommended in the 40 bracket due to us gaining access to higher ranks compared to the 25 bracket, and you also have more important talent choices to choose with your limited amount of points. There's also the plethora of spell power options combined with the 100% extra life tap mana for metaform, which makes it, again, not worth recommending until later levels. We'll also be picking up our AoE Fear, Howl of Terror rank 1 at level 40 to round out some more defensives. For 50, we basically have our main build options come online. We'll learn Death Coil at level 42 and get rank 2 at level 50. We'll also finish off Fell Stamina to 5 out of 5 and take 1 out of 5 Fell Intellect, 5 out of 5 Master Demologist, and Soul Link plus the required prerequisites. Then we'll hop over to the Affliction tree for Improved Corruption and 3 out of 5 Improved Drain Life. With everything like that, you should be a walking tank in PvP, able to shrug off lots of damage. The main differences, though, between the 50 build and the 60 build really come down to just a handful of extra Affliction talents for a little extra damage and survivability from getting extra drain. Around this time, you'll have to make a choice between Voidwalker or Fell Hunter based on what type of your opponent you're fighting more often, melee or casters, and if you have the wrong option out against your current opponent, and Fell Domination up to quickly switch your pet out. Succubus, though, is still not a recommended option due to you spamming dots all over everything and Seduce breaking on damage. Finally, the level 60 version of this build would look a lot like the Nightfall Soul Link build, mixed a little with the Siphon Life Soul Link build from TBC. Just moving around the points from Nightfall into something else you prefer and swapping Siphon Life for Drain Life. Because we have Drain Life instead of Siphon Life, though, you'll need to make sure to keep Drain Life up as the cooldown refreshes on priority, and manage the number of your opponents more often via kiting, proper pet choices, and crowd control so that you have a powerful single target drain instead of a spammable, low healing drain spell. From there, the strategy doesn't really change. Use your offensive spells to whittle your opponent's life down while using your defensive cooldowns, consumables, Voidwalker for melee or to sacrifice it for your shield, or Fell Hunters for casters, and your Drain Life spell to stay alive. Again, we'd just like to reiterate, things can always change, especially as we get the game in a few days and actually start playing it. Maybe the meta will be too bursty for something like this to be super viable, or maybe the build would reign as one of the best PvP options you can make. Only time will tell, and as always, if you enjoyed the video and want to see more Warlock content, feel free to hit that sub button, and maybe give us a like and a comment as well. Have a good night!